Hey, I want to talk to you about Sektori, which is a twin-stick shooter that is available now on the Nintendo Switch 2. And I need to clean my screen. Anyway, like I said, it's a twin-stick shooter. It's out on the Nintendo Switch 2, but it originally came out in, I think it was like November of last year. It hit Steam, PS5 and Xbox, and I was really, really jealous when it first came out on other platforms because like I like to play primarily on my Nintendo Switch 2. That's like my main console, you know? So seeing other people kind of sharing screenshots and footage of this game, I was like, damn, I need to play this. I mean, yeah, I could have picked it up on my Steam Deck, but I was kind of holding out hope that this would come to the Switch 2. I even asked the developer over on Twitter, over on Blue Sky, forget Twitter, whether this game would be coming to the Switch. And the kind of rub of it was that they did try to get it running on the original Switch, and the performance just wasn't there because this is such an intense game, as you'll see from the footage. There's so much going on the screen that having buttery smooth 60 FPS performance was kind of like the baseline for this, and the original Switch just kind of wasn't up to it, I guess. But the thing is, like this, and back in like November, like Switch 2 dev kits apparently were still kind of hard to come by. So the success of this game on other platforms such as Steam has actually enabled the developer to kind of get the attention of Nintendo apparently. And they had now got a dev kit and they've brought it, I think it's what, like maybe 6 or 7, sorry, months later, they've actually brought the game over to the Switch 2. They've ported it themselves and now the game is here. And I've been playing it for a while and I've got to tell you, it is so rad, which is why I wanted to make this video today, because it's one of those games that I think deserves a bit more attention because I've had so much fun with it. It's like complete, it's kind of like a trippy, psychedelic, non-stop kind of addictive, really good twin stick shooter, and have had such fun playing it. I mean, partly because I was obsessed with Geometry Wars back in the day when that was on the Xbox 360. Yeah, it's one of those games that I've always held dear. So when I saw screenshots of this, I knew immediately that I wanted to check it out. And the funny thing is with Geometry Wars, there was an achievement in that game for getting a score of like 1 million points, and I couldn't do it. Like I spent months trying to get it, and I just couldn't do it. To the point where eventually, like one night, I must have been playing it at like 2 in the morning or something like that, and I eventually cracked the kind of 1 million score kind of barrier or whatever it was, and I was so excited. I went upstairs and like woke up my partner and told her about it, and she was not happy, admittedly, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I love these games, and Sektori is now on the Switch 2, so I just kind of wanted to just explain it to you really, and like why you should check it out. So I'm going to throw some footage up on the screen here just to kind of give you an idea of things, and I'll explain it too. So obviously you've got the arena here and you're flying around kind of killing enemies and whatnot, but you can kind of see that they're dropping like these yellow little bits of whatever, they're called glimmer, I think. Pick those up and you get like an upgrade point essentially, and you can see on the side of the screen that there's like an upgrade tree. So there's things like shield on there, there's like a move called strike, which is basically like your ship acts as like a battering ram for a brief second. There's like missiles, there's like your basic blaster and things like that, and you can upgrade all of those. But the thing is, the order in which you do that is something that you need to keep track of. So obviously, in addition to like flying around the arena and taking out all the bad guys and like picking up the little points that they drop, you've also got to keep tabs on what upgrade you want, because they're kind of stacked in a way. So I think the bottom one there is like your speed. So you pick up an upgrade point and you can upgrade your speed, but if you pick up 2, 3, 4, you can then upgrade your missiles and so on and so forth. So you have to kind of actively keep track of what upgrade you want and make sure you don't miss it. Like, because if you like pick up an extra upgrade point, you kind of bumped up the tree to the next upgrade, and then you kind of will get that one instead. So that's something you need to keep tabs on. And this game's full of those little kind of additional systems that make it much more than just like a basic twin stick shooter. So another one of those is in the bottom corner, you can see the word Mirage, and you've got to pick up the letters essentially when they show up on the arena of M-I-R-A-G-E. Get all of them and you get like a burst of mad power, like kind of like in Mario Kart essentially. When you pick up the superstar, you just go crazy for 10-15 seconds, and the same is true here. You get such immense power, and it's really satisfying to just blast the arena and kind of clear out, you know. So that's another system that you need to actually keep tabs on though, because if you get M-I-R-G-E, you're missing the A, and then you see the letter A on the screen and you got to go grab it, but they're rotating M-I-R-A-G-E, M-I-R-A-G-E, and you got to wait for the kind of right window opportunity to grab the right letter. And if you miss that, it's kind of frustrating, but you've also got to keep tabs of which letters you've already collected. So there's this other system at play, and it's like it all adds to the kind of intensity of the gameplay. Thankfully, there is a bit of a respite by way of a card system that's in the game as well. So from time to time, you'll collect things and it will trigger this thing where you can choose from, like, it's kind of like a roguelike. You get like 3 cards to choose from for like various power-ups. And it's here where there's a real added depth to the game in terms of how you want to approach things, because obviously you've got your upgrade tree, which kind of dictates which powers you kind of lean on. So you might want to say, I want to be really, really fast. I want to go all in on the speed. I want to have a ton of missiles. That's my play style, right? And that's fine. That's just how you want to approach playing it. And then you get the cards, which can kind of modify or enhance or kind of lean on that. So you can get things like extra drones, which will help you with your kind of firepower, or like shooting a missile at the back or whatever. And there's things where you can like buy extra shields and stuff. So, but the thing is, when you kind of get to that card interface, it does kind of pause the main gameplay. So you do get like a second to just kind of be a bit more thoughtful about, okay, this is where I'm at. This is what I need to do. I want to pick this upgrade and then do that and back into the game. And it's really cool because you have these intense kind of nail-biting moments where you're flying around and trying to take enemies out, and then you get this brief moment of pause where you can be a bit more strategic. Say, okay, this is how I'm going to approach things, how I'm going to carry on. And I don't know, that kind of stop and start nature of it really lends itself well, because it can get so intense in these games that having even just a few seconds of pausing to kind of select something and your direction of travel I really liked it. And there is that kind of element of it, you try and you die, you try and you die. And the roguelike kind of, it's not persistent at all. So each run is complete clean slate. There's no perma upgrades or anything like that. I don't know, I just thought it was really, really cool. And all the while, the whole experience is really, really trippy and like psychedelic and stuff like that. And another kind of wrinkle of that is the arena itself will kind of metamorphise and like change every, I don't know, I want to say like every 30 seconds or like a minute maybe. It'll change the shape of the arena. And that's telegraphed really, really well, because like these big red kind of pulsing kind of areas of change are shown on the screen. So you know what to do. You got to get out of the way basically quickly before the kind of arena changes and you get squashed or taken out or whatever. And that's one thing actually that this game gets super, super right, because in Geometry Wars, I felt, as much as I loved it, it felt a little bit unfair sometimes in terms of how enemies would just spawn in on top of you, and there wasn't much of a warning about that, whereas Sektori, I think, absolutely nails that, because, like I said, the arena itself will move and change, and that's telegraphed really, really well. But even the enemies, when they're kind of swarming in, you'll see them as like a red ghost for like maybe a second before they actually arrive on the arena. So it gives you plenty of time to kind of get out of the way and navigate things and know how you're going to approach dispatching them, So I think it does a really, really good job at kind of telegraphing that, and I really appreciate that. And it makes for much more kind of a fun run, because there's no like bullshit, oh, I died to this thing, And on that point actually of like it feeling really fair, obviously when you do die in these games, it can sometimes feel like, oh crap, what was that? What took me out? And so when you do die, there is like a little mini replay on the screen, which, it shows like the last second of your kind of gameplay of what it was that took you out. And you can see, oh, okay, fair enough. I went into that wall, or okay, I didn't see that enemy. It did catch me there. So it's one of those things that I think it's like a really small addition, but it helps you feel like at the end of like a run where you might be doing amazing, and you're like, oh crap, I die. It feels fair because you can say, okay, fair enough, I messed up, So it really, really challenges you. And at the end of each kind of wave, there is like a mini boss, and it's randomized which one you'll get. And all of them have their own kind of unique patterns and stuff. And it's really, really, really satisfying. It's a bullet hell masterpiece, I reckon. I really, really liked it. And throughout all of that is this kind of techno soundtrack, which goes super, super hard. I mean, listen. It's good, right? And it's even on like streaming services if you do kind of vibe with it. I mean, I know I do. I'm more of a house music guy. I like my house music, but I can dabble with techno every now and again, and this is good stuff. So yeah, it's a really, really readable kind of arena shooter, which has some really neat kind of upgrade paths and like real cool systems in play. And obviously, like the comparison to like Geometry Wars is there. Resogun is another one, and the developer actually worked on Resogun when they were at Housemarque as well. And even like the kind of visual style of it kind of reminded me of like Rez and even Thumper, which is another rad game, which is also on the Switch as well. So yeah, it's super fair. It's got tons of replay value. It's super, super satisfying to kind of work your way through things. It's got like built-in achievements and stuff as well, so you can kind of go through all of the kind of progress of that if you're into that. But yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to kind of shed a light on this because Sektori is a game that I liked the look of when I first saw it last year, and it's a solo developer that's been working on it for like 4.5 years, I think he said. So now that the Switch 2 version is here, it's been like, I don't know, like 5 years since they first started working on this, and their brother is actually the person who made the techno soundtrack that goes with it, which is kind of a cool little detail. I've actually spoken to the developer over email for an interview, and that interview is now live over on hanafuda.report, and there's a link in the description for that as well. But yeah, like I said, this game is out now on the Switch 2, and I think it's around $14, maybe £12, something like that. It's well worth checking out if you're into this stuff, because I had such fun with it, and it's one of those things, you put your headphones in, lock in, and you're just gonna have such a blast with it. It's addictive stuff. I really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, Sektori is out on the Nintendo Switch 2 now, and that was just kind of my impressions of it. It's well worth checking out.